Hello, my name is Madison Elliott. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be discussing corporate responsibility and ethics. What is corporate responsibility? Corporate responsibility is a self-regulating business model that helps a company be socially accountable to itself, its stakeholders, and the public. What is ethics? Ethics are the moral principles that govern a person's behavior or the conducting of an activity. Many people have their own set of ethics, and many companies have their own guidelines to help these businesses remain ethical. Today I'm going to be asking my father, who is a business owner, some questions about these topics. All right, could you introduce yourself to the camera?
My name is William Elliott, and I'm a sales representative and a project manager for a roofing company.
Okay, what does corporate social responsibility mean to you?
It means that corporations should not just think about the bottom line, that they have some responsibilities in the products they build or services they do. They have a responsibility to people everywhere and not just to their shareholders to make a dollar.
What does ethics mean to you?
Ethics means what you do on a day-to-day basis is how you treat people. If you want to try to make an extra dollar off of small lies, or if you want to just try to be straight with everybody and do everything honestly.
Do you try to follow your own set of ethics every day?
Absolutely. I deal with people every day. We have to decide whether they have enough money to do their job, and if we're going to fight the insurance company, and I have to tell them whether or not they have an insurance claim, or how to proceed if they do have an insurance claim. If they get denied, there's certain things we can do. Or some people, I get up there and tell them that they have nothing wrong with their roof and it'll be good for another 5-10 years. So it's up to them how they proceed with the insurance claim.
Does your company have a code of ethics or guidelines written down anywhere?
It's not written, but it's implied. He's taught each of us, and everybody there are honest, and everybody knows right from wrong, and it's pretty simple. As long as we do good work for the people that every job we do, we have to make sure we have good workers to make sure we have it done properly, and not to have anything. All the small details matter, and if you leave little stuff off, that it can end up being bigger problems. So you're better off to just make sure you're honest and upfront with them at first. That way it all comes together at the end, because it's a process when you're dealing with the insurance claims to get your money, and you got to prove your work. So you know what to do, and it's pretty simple how to follow the guidelines, because he tells us every day not to sell anything that we're not sure we can do, and not to tell customers anything that we can't do. And he's not a big money person. He's not really just trying to make money. He's trying to provide a service and do good work and build a big company out of that.
Awesome. Can you think of any situations where your ethics came into play?
Well, I deal with insurance companies all the time, and there is one that is a major corporation. They have commercials on TV, and they are telling these people who have destroyed roofs that they'll only replace 30 shingles on certain sides and only do certain sides. So I have to take my time and fight for that customer with the insurance company, and it takes a lot longer. It's about twice as long, twice as involved, but in the end you're doing the right thing. And as long as you're doing the right thing, the insurance company has to pay. They know they have to pay, but they know that if they have so many people they deny the claim to, or deny part of the claim, that 1 out of 10 of those don't fight it, then you add that up over time, they're making multiple millions of dollars. So one company in particular denies a lot of claims, and I have to fight for them. So, I mean, it's somebody else's morality I'm fighting against. But I mean, if we do what's right is right, and we don't fight the insurance company unless it's something that we know is right and needs done, and that the customer's in the right.
All right. I'm going to ask you your opinion on these 3 questions. Do you think companies should be allowed to directly market to children?
It happens all the time. It depends what the product is, but it happens. It's been happening. I mean, they're maybe not directly, but indirectly, as long as it isn't something. I don't think that like computer usage by a kid should be interrupted by advertisements aimed at kids. But as far as TV and on the radio, I mean, as long as it's a good product and isn't going to hurt the child, I don't see anything wrong with it.
Okay. If companies have a chance to be greener for the environment, should they do it even if it bears a greater cost to the company?
Yes, because in the end, they're going to need that environment to be around to keep their company going. To make money in the short term, you're going to hurt yourself in the long term, especially now. It's turning from corporations are about making money for their shareholder. It's turned a lot more towards the responsibility end of the company, and people are buying and spending their money according to what companies are doing good for the earth. So now it's good for the company to be green, even it's going to help themselves more. So I mean, it's not really going to hurt them these days, maybe in the short term, but it ends up in the long term with more customers and happier people.
All right, last question. How do you feel about websites using consumers' personal information for research or marketing?
I don't think that people should have their information collected and stored anywhere. I think they should have it where they can advertise to them and collect as long as the customer knows that's going on. But as far as just collecting every information on everything you do and selling it to people, it seems like an invasion of privacy. And it seems like in the long term, it's going to end up being more where you're monitored than being sold to. So once it gets to that end and you start getting anything like that involved, it's going to turn, and the customers are going to start getting very upset. They already got upset about what happened before, finding out they was selling information to different people, but when it hits you personally, a lot of people don't think about it, but we're already getting that done. There's already information coming in our phones that is already geared towards us, so it's already happening. But I don't see, as long as they're not storing it and using it against you, but if they're storing it, then that means they can use it against you eventually. So I don't believe the storage of everybody's personal information is a good idea, that it eventually turns into a bad system, and we don't want to be like China.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
In conclusion, all companies and people have very different ethical guidelines and what they think is their social responsibility. But in the long run, treating the environment, other species, other people, and companies how you would want to be treated makes our consumers and the world a much happier place.